Welcome to the NERO Show, presented by Join Cycling. In today's episode,
I spent some time on the brand new Factor 1 Aero bike. I chat through my experience with it.
we do a quick news roundup. INEOS running around on some white bibs, and Pirelli are launching 35mm race tyres. We do some dogs and fast bikes. Let's get straight into it. Embargo day.
Yeah, it's lifted.
Lifted.
We are coming to you from under the embargo.
Under the embargo.
Ooh.
We shouldn't even be talking about this,
No.
Jesse. It feels wrong.
Yeah. So we're on the inside scoop on this one.
We are.
In the club.
We are. We got a Secret Boys Club membership,
Mhm.
and we're on the. So when the embargo lifted, you'll see our thumbnail there next to all the other ones.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Just another cycling media member.
I got one though, so I've ridden it.
Yep. This is
so
cool.
it
This
is
is
the
super cool.
Factor 1,
Hmm.
which is their new Aero bike.
The worst kept secret in the world, too, given it was written 6 months ago.
So I don't know why there's an embargo, because it was raced at the Dauphiné. Cycling News took it to the wind tunnel and had 6 bazillion photos of it, and then we're not allowed to talk about it, which is kind of funny. So Factor had the one previously, the one with the hole in the middle of the down
Yes.
tube, and they've re-released it, their Aero platform. Should we just do? I'm going to give my impressions of it.
Yep.
But do you want to do a quick press release run through? What's the sell here? What's the play? How fast can a UCI legal road bike truly be? Independent testing has confirmed the one as the fastest road bike in the world, and then on the road were a stage win at the Criterium de Dauphiné on its prototype debut, provided the clearest validation possible. So this is the thing, right? This is Factor saying the one represents a shift in how modern race bikes are conceived. Elite racing has evolved. Riders sit further forward, true. Run narrower bars, true. Shorter cranks, true. Deeper tyre volumes, true. And more aerodynamic positions than ever before, also true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The one was engineered around these realities from day one, not retrofitted to them. So there's a lot of front end on this bike, and this is their first point. It says it's got the bayonet fork, the sort of S5 Y1RS thing where you've got the frame, and then the steerer tube isn't in the middle of the head tube. It's a separate piece that goes around the front, so it does have that. This is a little confusing, but what they're saying is, in terms of the geometry, by decoupling the handlebar mount from the steering axis, the one enables reach positions that would previously require unstable stems. So I think they're saying and you can see it when you go through their sizing, is their longest length stem is they have equivalent to a 150, but they say that would have been unstable or not optimal.
Mm-hmm.
So in this system they have, it's equivalent of a 150, but it's not actually that. It doesn't affect the steering like a 150 would. A revised bottom bracket drop restores handling balance altered by shorter cranks and modern tyre choices, keeping the bike planted at high speed. Their test results aerodynamically, now they give it as a % faster.
I love a percent faster.
Just a percent of in what, with a rider, without a rider, at what speed. Your guess is as good as mine. Also, because in their whole launch book, in their Aero pages, I went through, it doesn't say what, there's photos of an S5 and the SL8. So there we go. They did list what the competition was. They didn't go random competitor. But I don't know what speed, and I'm guessing that's, based on the results, this is without a rider on it. It says 8% faster than the Ostrovam 2.0. Okay. 15% faster than the Cervelo S5 2024. Instantly, I don't think that makes sense, because the S5 is definitely faster than an Ostrovam with a rider on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they've gotten there. 22% faster than a Tarmac SL8. Okay. But what is, okay. Cycling News have tested the bike, and we'll chat about the results from that later, but instantly, just from these results, I can't really, that doesn't give me anything. Maintains aero advantage beyond 15 degrees of yaw, okay. As the fastest UCI legal road bike Factor's ever produced, and the fastest verified in the industry to date. Results say it is quicker than the competition.
Big numbers too.
Well,
15%. The headline figure there, I look at that and I go, what? 15% faster than an S5?
Yeah, but it's 15%. It could be
I know.
15% drag reduction with no rider. So
I know there's a lot of, I hear exactly what you're saying,
like,
but I'm
okay.
just, as someone, when you read these things and they bold the text, and it's 15%, you're like, wow, 15% of anything is quite a considerable number.
All right, geometry. You can select stem lengths that are equivalent of 110 to 150, so it's fairly long bike, and 3 high-rise options. So the bars come in 3 heights that have a sweep up, and then you can go 15 mil of space or adjustability. So for any size, you've got basically 35 mil of stack range. That's their whole initial press release.
All right, Jesse, just a quick word from today's show partner, Join Cycling. Join Cycling, what's it all about, Jesse?
It's an AI-powered cycling training app, the place to get started with structured training. So you go on, pick your goal, event, or a fitness target, put in your availability, days you can train, maybe some bunch rides you do. It'll give you structured training to get you progressing your fitness towards your set goal.
Now, if you want to start using the app, you can join over 200,000 athletes currently on there. Visit join.cc/NERO Show. Download the app from the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you can start ripping into some turns and some efforts thanks to Join Cycling. Now, if that's all we had to go on, we'd be struggling for an episode here on launch day in terms of a white paper. But thankfully, you've actually had an opportunity to ride one. Yeah. And I just want to jump straight into that because there's no point just sitting here and picking apart the specs without your experience on the bike. And we can kind of go through it as we do that.
I wanted to spend more time with it. Unfortunately, I've only got it. I've ridden it twice. So I would have loved to have spent more time with it, but that's what we get. I weighed it. I'm in a size 58. Basically stack and reach exactly the same as my Tavello setup. Without pedals, it weighs 7.8 kilos. In the camo colorway. Apparently the black colorway is it saves about 200 grams. So in a size 58, apparently it could be down to 7.6. So if you see some lighter weights and it's in the black colorway, that's that. But 7.8 no pedals. By the time I put my Asiomas on, it's 8.1. My Tavello, also with 60 mil deep wheels, is 7.4 kilos without pedals. 7.7 with pedals. So it's not light. Not that it claims to be. It's a full-on aero bike, but it is heavy. There's no magic super light layups going on. It's a heavy bike. And for reference, both of those bikes have 60 mil wheels, setup tubeless, and the Tavello has a 32 rear and a 30 front tire. The Factor had 28 GP5000s, same tire model. So yeah, that's the weight.
Can I ask about your position?
Yep.
So that's obviously a huge part of this bike build.
Yes.
Well, this innovation is the geometry of this bike, specifically around the seat angles, which is far steeper than normal. I don't know off the top of my head what your sort of position is like, but how did you find matching up your position?
It's interesting because if the geometry feels like it was made for what I do. And so on the Tavello, I don't have a zero offset seat post, so I have to have the saddle the whole way forward, and I have a long stem. I have a 150 stem, right? Yep. So on this bike, I've just got the saddle. Edwin built it. All I did was set the saddle height right, and I picked the correct length bars, and I'm off.
Yep.
Saddle's in the middle of the thing. And I don't have a 150 stem. I have a shorter one that's equivalent to 150. And so I'm I'm on there, bang. I'm out ripping hour effort the next day.
So
yeah,
good.
It's good.
So that's really good.
It gets me in the position I want to be in without having to go zero offset posts and long stems and which is but it doesn't handle different. This is what I'm saying. It gets me in that position easier. I didn't notice any magical handling because they're talking about the bottom bracket drop or whatever and this and that and for wider tires. I didn't handle very differently from the Tavello. It's just that it's easier to get in that position without having to go weird seat posts. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting because Mick's the same. So bike fitter in Sydney, he's notorious, slammed over the bottom bracket, front of the rails, but he's the same. He's like normal, neutral position. So for someone wanting to be on the pos, it's kind of designed for that, seemingly.
Which makes sense because if you go to any specialized World Tour team, they all have zero offset. I'm saying all, I'm exaggerating. They all have zero offset posts with the saddles flaps forward, with spaces under the stem and long stems. Basically all of them. Yeah. So that's factor of just going, okay, well, why don't we just make the bike like that from out of the box, which is cool.
So that's your build weight. You got your pause.
Mm-hmm.
You're rolling out the door.
Roll in first afternoon. I only had like 50 minutes of it, and it's a Sydney afternoon, so it was quite windy. Okay. Initial negative, it's got these Black Ink 62 wheels. I'm sorry, Factor, I really don't like these wheels. I think the wheels suck.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah.
They're one of these carbon spoked, light, but a 62 depth with I think it's like 23 internal, 29 external. So probably a 4 or 5 year old rim profile, and they don't handle crosswinds well. And it's only got 28 on the front. It's not like I've put some 32 on there and the airflow's detaching. And so I was in there and I was getting the jolts. I'm going around Centennial Park and I'm like, oh, I'm back to doing this again. I have spent time testing different wheels to get a setup where I don't have to deal with that anymore. And I'm back out going, not full like, Jesus, take the wheel, but little corrections. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. So the wheels, yeah.
Now, you think that's the wheels?
I definitely think it's the wheels.
Okay.
From my experience testing different wheels, I think highly likely, if I had time and I had put different wheels on, I would have been able to get this to handle much better. So extremely confident from the wheels.
There would be a world where, because, it doesn't take many looks at the front end of that bike, the enormity of that head tube and the fork, pictures don't do that justice when you see it in real life. There could be a world where
I don't think that's how airflow works.
All right.
Even because even if you're getting wind hitting the fork, that's not turning. That's not on the steering axis. It's way more from the rim. So I think it's these wheels because I've ridden wheels like this and they don't handle well.
Yeah.
So instantly, if you buy, the frame we'll get onto, but like if as a package for someone who's buying this bike. If you want this speed, you're a nitpicker, right? You're not gonna like these wheels. I went in the next day, no wind. They felt really nice because there was no wind. But who rides with there's no wind all the time? So I do think the wheels are dated and let down the package. If I had more time, I would definitely be swapping the wheels over and testing it more. Also, in that first ride, initial impression, given the weight, out of the saddle, it doesn't feel like an 8 kilo bike. Probably, and this is a summary I'll make for the whole bike as a whole, it rides exactly how it looks.
Yeah, okay.
So that's, if I had to like one-line it, it's like, what does it look like? It rides like that. So I'm doing the effort, and then you go to Centennial Park, you get to the horse shit gates, and it goes uphill, and you get out of the saddle. Oh, it feels really good because the weight's not at the back. So like blindfold me, it feels the same weight as the Tavello, feels really nice out of the saddle. Even when I was doing my hour effort, the following day, out of the saddle, feels really nice. Like the back end feels tight.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
It's tight.
Tight.
The back end.
There is tightness.
Which is like obviously at that weight, you're riding uphill. You can't cheat gravity. It still weighs 8.1 kilos with pedals, but it doesn't feel like it in the rear end.
This is great, chat. I'm loving this. Just quietly.
Oh, sorry. I was going to mention just on the wheels. Aerodynamically, they are quite fast. So in that cycling news test where they tested the bike, then they put the MV 4.5s on. They can do a comparison. So those Black Inks are hilarious. They're a lot faster than the MV 4.5. So yeah, in a wind tunnel, they're decent. But like this, I think this bike would ride much better with the MVs. So or a set of reserves or something. So even though it tests fast with these wheels, they're on the road. They're no good.
They are quite light, aren't they?
I think they're in they're sub 1,400 grams.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to talk about the comfort in relation to the second day I was on it. The only thing to wrap up from my first day on it was tire clearance. So they claim the front you could put in a fat bike tire. It's huge. The rear, they claim 31 measured width tire clearance, which initially you're going, oh, that's a bit narrow. I tested it with a bunch of different wheels. Here is your tire clearance. 28 mil on the Black Inks, measure 30.5. That fits in there, no problems at all. I put a CRW in with a 30 mil tire, measures 32 wide. Few mil either side, I'd ride that happily. So I'd be confident to say a 30 mil rear tire and a wide rim, you're all good.
Mm-hmm.
I put my 30, the wheel I actually use, which is the Caden rear with a 32 mil rear tire measuring 34 and a half. Ooh, tight.
Yeah.
Tight. If it was a race on just road, no dirt, and it wasn't going to rain, I'd probably run it, but maybe there's like a mil and a half. I'll send you some video. So I'd be confident in saying a wide 30, you're all good. 32, no. And that was a big shame. That's what I run. Caden rim with a 32 rear measures about 34 and a half. It's fast.
Yeah.
And I can't run that on this bike.
Okay.
And that's a problem for a bike claiming that it's this progressive geometry set up for wider tires and you can't fit a 32 in the rear. It doesn't make sense. Why would they have done that? I actually don't know. Like the Tavello has more tire clearance in the rear. I'm guessing what they would have had to do around the bottom bracket to make that wider would have affected the chain line or the aerodynamics or something. And so they've gone, it fits a 30. That's enough for most people. So that's the trade-off to get this sort of aero bike. But if we're assessing this as a hyper bike, to not be able to fit a 32 on the rear is a big shame. I couldn't run this bike how I would want to. Before I got onto the speed testing I did on the second day, Garmin mount, really, really nice. Solid.
Interesting.
Because you mentioned on the Cervelo, you're like, this thing's
That's
a bit
the worst part of the
dinky
bike.
and slop. I'll put some video. Absolutely solid. Comes with all the pucks. You've got the screws underneath. You could probably put one of those GoPro things on. You could lean on it. All good.
Fantastic. Okay.
And really, really neat. I mean, and it's because the bars have a sweep on them. It sits lower, sort of in line with the headset area, and so it's all quite neat. So they've done a good job with that. Oh, and bottle cages are different front and rear, and they wrap around the tube shape. So obviously the seat tube is very narrow, the down tube's wider, and they're different for both, and they're custom. So that's also really nice.
Optimized for round bottles, or
yeah.
Okay.
Optimized for round bottles.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that was nice, like attention to detail in those regards. It's pretty cool. So going the second day to do my hour effort, which I'll chat about in a sec. That was also a longer ride where I did my hour effort and then I went up the hill at Centennial Park and you do the little cat's ears bit. And up there, the road, there's lots of trees up there. So the road has lots of bumps and divots and like patches in the concrete. It's a good stretch of road to test comfort. There's, pause, the 28 mil tires, using the Silka tire pressure calculator at my weight, it recommended I put them at 80 PSI. The Cadens with the measure width I have there, it recommends I put them at 60. I didn't put them at 80 PSI because that's just absolutely ridiculous. I put them at 70. So this is with a 28, a relatively low pressure compared to what I run on the Cadence. And even then, there's no secret sauce. It's stiff, and I'd say the rear end, like through the saddle, is not like uncomfortable, but there's no secret sauce. The front end is harsh, is heavy. Like even coming back, with all the cracks in the tarmac, like you hit those bigger bumps, and it's oof. Like I was riding back having to grip the bars a bit more. And the rough section on the, actually on the circle at Centennial Park I've talked about before, back to that going, there's some vibrations here. So absolutely unapologetic aero bike. There's no secret sauce, to the point where I called you, because Mick's also ridden it, and he's ridden more other aero bikes than I have. And I said to you, there is no way the S5 is this uncomfortable, because surely you would have mentioned it. I don't know what he says, but my impression was like, I feel like this has to be more uncomfortable than the other. In terms of,
I can pick up on that because I did ask him about that.
This has got to be more uncomfortable than the Ostrovam as well.
So yes, is the answer to those two questions.
Okay.
Yes, he noticed that it definitely was stiffer, and I'm not going to use the word harsh because that can get taken, but it, as you said, it rides like it looks from that perspective.
Yes.
The S5 rode better.
Yes.
Yes, was his takeaway.
Good. I'm glad someone else could. As would make sense, you look at it, there's a lot of carbon there to get it to be apparently this fast, whatever speed that is. there's no miracle that it's somehow as comfortable as a lighter bike with less deep tubes.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. Okay, so do my hour effort. Now, about a week before, in a morning, also cool conditions on the Tavello, I did my fastest from recent time hour. It was an hour and a half effort, but I look at the individual 5-lap segments within there. I did the fastest one I've done a long time. 25 minutes, 58 seconds on the Tavello at 359 watts. That's 43.7 kilometers an hour at 359 watts. Go in on my second day on the Factor 1, exactly the same power, 359 watts. Similar conditions. I purposely went in at this time because I knew it wasn't going to be windy.
Mm-hmm.
359 watts. 25 minutes, 52 seconds. So 6 seconds faster over basically 26 minutes, which is 0.2 of a kilometer an hour.
Mm.
I can't really dig into that too much because it's like I had the NERO suit on, and then in the Tavello one I had the sample NERO suit, which I think is a bit faster because it's got better sleeves. And it's like slightly different conditions. Usually when I do this, I have the bike for ages and I'd do like 6-hour efforts, remove the ones that are windy, and then I can get a better average. So like initially off the bat, I'm like, okay, it's fast. That's the fastest 5-lap TT I've done solo in these sort of efforts, but by a bee's dick.
Yeah.
So if we actually just look at the Cycling News, thankfully have tested it independently. Bike only at 40 kilometers an hour, it's 4.5 watts faster than the S5 and 3 watts faster than a Y1 RS. I think the bike only tests are
done,
borderline irrelevant.
Yeah.
Basically, they should only be done to back up something with a mannequin or a rider on it. With a rider, it's the same speed as the S5, 3.5 watts faster than a Y1 RS. Okay, that's what it is. So it's the same speed as an S5 at 40k an hour. All right, and in my testing, it's like, I'm like, okay, it's maybe a bit faster than my Tavello. Okay. Can I go a bit deeper on this speed stuff?
Mm.
Because this is my problem with the speed, right? It's heavier, it's stiffer, it's less comfortable, and it's apparently the fastest UCI bike ever. I don't think they're doing a good enough job in explaining to us what is that 8% faster than the Factor Ostro VAM? What does that mean for me? How much faster is that actually? Because Cycling News test it, and that's independent, that's good, but it's at 40k an hour.
Mm.
What is that at 45k an hour? What's that at 50k an hour? I don't know. And then Factor, all they give you is 1% faster than other bikes. And I'm sitting here going, there's a few universes. There's one universe where you get this thing up to 50 and it's way faster, right? But we don't have data for that. So I can't really say that. And there's another world where you get this up faster and it's still a bee's dick faster than the other Aero bikes, which are lighter and more comfortable. And you're going, okay, I understand that it's 8% faster, but that's not actually making much of a difference in the real world. And we're going to go to the wind tunnel tomorrow. And what if we come back and the Quick Pro is the same speed as the S5? And the S5 is the same speed as this new Factor 1? And you're going, well, you should just get the Aero bikes that already exist that are much easier to live with, and not easy to live with, but that are easier to ride and easier to love in terms of ride quality. So I actually don't know, and it's frustrating because I feel like I believe in this bike.
Yes.
And you said this to me too. You said, what was it? You were like, you're biased because you want the bike to be fast.
I'm overtly biased that I want this bike to succeed. You know, I think one of the narratives underlying the NERO show for the last 3 or 4 years is go nuts, brands. Give me weird shit. I want it. Mm-hmm. And I will spruik it. And if you give me boring Trekmadone Gen 8s, then I will shit on it. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited by this. I want it to succeed. That is my bias.
Okay. But I'm sitting here, having ridden it, having looked through the testing data, I'm going, I don't know if this is faster for me. I want to believe it, I would have loved to sit here and it's half a kilometre an hour faster, and the cycling news have tested at 50k an hour, and I can piece, a story together and go, oh man, I don't want to go back to the Tavello.
It's done.
It's done. This thing's a rocket ship.
Yeah.
I can't say what I'm saying that based off what? 6 seconds faster in a 5-lap segment, and like a couple, the same speed as an S5 in the cycling news test at 40k an hour. This is what I want. I'd love them to test a small, get us someone on a size 52 and someone on a size 61, test them at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60k an hour in the wind tunnel, make some model, allow me to upload my ride. Why can't I upload the ride I did in Centennial Park to that model?
Okay.
And then, because when I do the segment compare thing on Strava, I put my 2 efforts in and I can see like, on the downhill, I pulled away here, and on the uphill, it went away there, right? Let me do that with different bikes. So you put in factor 1 and then do the same wind tunnel testing for the SL8, and let me see how much faster this is or isn't based on the wind tunnel data with a rider on it at different speeds. Because we know, like, a cycling news tested at 40k an hour and it's like, 3 watts faster than an SL8. Yeah, but 3 watts at 40k an hour could be 15 watts at 55k
100%.
an hour. And that's where you're going, but I can't just assume that and be like, cool, I'm going to buy this like $20,000 Australian dollar Aero bike to save watts that I'm half making up. Is this rant making sense?
Yeah.
The brands aren't, usually the marketing thing is, they're telling you it's this much faster. I'm like, no, they're not telling you it's faster. I believe it's faster. Why aren't they doing their marketing? Let me see how much faster this thing is. Because right now I'm going, it's a hard sell. It's funny. It's like you want a broadband speed test. You want to be able to, sign up to your new broadband and then go, they're telling me I've got 100 gig. Well, let's just check. In you go, do your broadband speed test. Yeah, I hear you. But everyone's too scared. I mean, it's like, I'm like, can we do Chris's aero testing at 50k an hour? But the Pro Peloton, average is 48. Do we have to do this again? Yeah. Going with a bunch of sections uphill where aero doesn't matter, and the bits where aero does matter, where you might be on the front, is at like 55. So there's this has gone way off tangent, but in terms of the speed of this bike, who's buying a bike based on a % faster?
Well, the reason they do that, the reason they do the 35, that comes back to the marketing narrative, because they know that as soon as you say 50, everyone will just GCN and Cade will jump up and say, it's an unrealistic speed.
Who averages that?
Who's doing that in their rides?
And then the other thing is like, you're in the draft. It's like, yeah, but when I pull a turn, I want to be doing 20 less watts, which I might be doing at 55k an hour, based on how the aero drag is like that sort of quasi-exponential looking thing as the speed goes up. But no one's testing it at the right speed, so I don't know. I don't know if this is fast. I know it's a few % faster than so-and-so. It's not convincing me to go and spend 20,000 Aussie dollars on it. And that's my honest, like, I got some other little bits and bobs here, but my honest sort of wrap-up of this bike is, as it stands now, I initially thought I would be like, I've got to hand this thing back and I got to go back to my Tavello. Bugger. Honest to God, I'm like, okay. I'm not really seeing how much faster this thing is, either in data or my own riding. So I'm like, okay, I'll go back to my more comfortable, already aero tweaked, do it all, which is, in my rides, is sort of there or thereabouts. That's what I'm seeing.
Chris, you'll have to edit this in. See, we recorded the show this morning because I didn't actually get a chance to test sprints yet. And I just spent the last 30 minutes absolutely almost gave myself a hernia trying to test the stiffness of this thing. Pretty sure I did a 3-second power PB, putting like 1700 watts through it. Just usually when I review a bike, it's either flexy or stiff. Feels no perceived flexiness, therefore it's stiff. Whereas this is almost pretty much moved the spectrum up. Where it's not just that it doesn't feel flexy, it feels like there's absolutely no loss through the front end. Now, obviously, that comes with the downside being not much comfort. But the other side of that coin, with this gigantic handlebar with no spaces going straight into the head tube, is that there feels like zero loss between my hands, through the front end, through the bottom bracket, into the pedals. Easily the party trick of this bike. The straight line speed, I can't really feel it, not sure. But that sprinting stiffness combined with a lighter feeling in the back end, if you're 80 plus kilos, you can do 1500 watts plus, you will have fun sprinting on this bike. I almost have like a smile on my face. That is wild. Again, probably pretty niche, but that is, this is extremely stiff. That was quite a bit of fun.
Now, today's episode is also supported by Silka, your home of lubes and pumps and waxes and all things very shiny and nice. Jesse, what are you seeing?
Now, that thing behind me is the chain waxing system. But it is an investment. And if you're not interested and you sort of maybe haven't waxed your chain before, but you want to get into it, that bag, you can do your whole waxing just from that. I don't know if a lot of people know this. So you just buy the secret chain blend bag. To melt that, stick that in a pot of boiling water. So you actually don't need that if you don't want to. You can just literally put that with a thermometer in a pot of boiling water, melt it, put your chain in, leave it there for whatever the instructions say, take your chain out, hang it up to dry, and then that all solidifies again in the bag and you can repeat. So if you are wanting to get into chain waxing, you don't need hot pots and crock pots and pressure cookers. You can just do it in the bag. And if you want to save even more time, take a strip chip off, chuck it in the bag with it, and do it all at once.
Incredible science.
In one pot. You could do it while you're cooking dinner.
Yep.
You've got your pasta bolognese and you've got your Silka hot melt.
You got the Silka on there.
That's what you do.
Fantastic. So that's the Silka Secret Chain Blend Hot Melt Wax. Jump on to the Silka website to grab your pack of that. And if you are on there, make sure you do use the code NEROSHOW15. We'll give you 15% off. And do remember that you are shipping locally. So everything on the Silka website is shipping from your country. So in Australia, we have a warehouse here. In the US, you have a warehouse there. That code, again, NEROSHOW15. And a big thanks to Silka for supporting the Nero Show.
That's about my chat about how it rides and stuff. So just to summarize that in a round, it is a out-and-out, unapologetic aero bike. Exactly how much faster will it be for me or for you? Very difficult to tell. I'm not saying obviously over a do-it-all, like you can tell, but over an S5, over a Canyon Aero, the jury's out there. I don't know. Will you actually see the drag benefits? I can't tell. It's not super light, and it doesn't ride super well. So I don't think it's this sort of hyperbike thing. I wouldn't personally. I think there's too many. There's too much given up to get that speed that I wouldn't say this is a hyperbike. I'd say this is a really well designed aero bike with a really good geometry for someone who wants to ride fast. Is it a hyperbike? Which is a made up term anyway. In my mind, no. I think it's a really well designed flat out aero bike.
I have one question, sort of general question. Does it feel like a fully formed final iteration, or does it feel like a step along the first generation of a new line of products? In that I mean like the Vision Pro. There's Apple's first iteration of their AI goggles. You can tell this is the starting point. We're going to try and sell you on this quietly. And in 15 years' time, it's going to look very different, but that'll be kind of where it started. Do you have a sense of that?
I don't have a sense of that exactly because I don't know how fast this is.
Okay.
That's the whole crux of the problem. Because initially I'm like, well, no, I feel like they could make it slightly more comfortable and maybe they could shave some weight here and there. But if this thing actually is really quick,
then who cares?
Then no. This is it. This is the bike you want if you want to ride fast. But I haven't been able to get the sense of that yet. Just in terms of like, okay, you're going to go buy this thing. I think this is another problem I might have. So they do sell it frame and bars and wheels, and then you got all your builds. The person buying this bike is probably not going to be attracted by the full build. Now, I know Factor have been good in the past with doing customizing your bits here and there, so I'm not sure if they're still doing that for this bike, but let's assume buying a full build, you're then going to want to change your chainring sizes and your crank length and that. So your saddle. So that's naturally less attractive in a full build. The person that's also buying a full build of this bike is not, the wheels don't do the frame justice. So they're probably going to want to change the wheels as well. So if you're looking at this, I'm going frame and bars, custom build it for sure. Pricing, I'll do the Euro pricing because I don't know if the US, if there's tariffs or whatever. 6,599 euro. And then you're having to go to a shop and do a custom build anyway. That's probably going to be my recommended path. The problem is that you're then not getting the benefit of the full build, which is generally, sometimes it can be slightly cheap. Like, depends on what it is. But for example, with Giant and stuff, sometimes the full builds are quite a bit cheaper than doing it yourself and less headache. And just less logistics of going to the shop and save on the build cost. So if you're doing a custom build from a frame and bars, that then opens up, then suddenly you're going, I could get any frame and bars. I could get an S5 for 5,999 euro for a frame set, save myself 600 euro. I could get that new in-color SSR for 3,778 euro. I could get a Y1 RS for 6,500 euro, which is about the same price as the one. I could get a Quick Pro with bars for 2,050 euro. I could get 3 Quick Pros. That's the problem when your full builds aren't tip to tail, like top spec, and then you're pushing. I would be pushing people to do frame set build. Then you're competing with all the other frame sets. It's not that hard to just order a frame set if you're doing the custom build anyway. Is that making sense? Mm-hmm. Like this could be, if this had better wheels and you were going, cool, Factor have the really good customization. So you choose your crank length, you can choose your gearing, and the wheels are good, so you're not tempted to swap them. Bang. That's a no-brainer. That's a killer. So in terms of that question, is this a final product? The frame set, I could go either way. Full build, I go, no, if this I could see this getting updated like Specialized did and keeping the frame and updating the wheels in maybe 2 years. I think, that's, and the wheels really affect how the bike rides. Yeah. So it's hard to sort of overstate that thing. The problem with doing a video here under embargo, I have no idea what anyone else that's ridden this bike's going to say. And this will be really, that's an honest.
Yes.
We had a call with Rob from Factor.
Yes.
So it's not easy to do this review when you've spoken with the guy who founded this company because he's put his heart and soul into this bike, and I'm saying I don't like your wheels. So thankfully we're recording this here. We're not doing this live on a call with him. But I'm curious. I'm curious to see how this is received in by other people and other people doing it, because usually when we do our release view, it gets released. We chat about it a few days later on the show, and we've kind of been able to synthesize what everyone else said. So I'm curious.
Let's call a spade, Jesse. No one will actually make any claims of other media. It will all be just generic. Oh, here it is. It's a bit heavy, but it's really fast. I bet you $3,000 million that someone uses the phrase, but for those of us who don't race, how important is that speed really? Or an iteration, a version of that. Because it's kind of we're not actually going to dive any deeper into the speed discussion because we're a little bit scared of being unrelatable or seem elitist if we actually pretend or suggest that speed is important and there could be a potential performance advantage. We don't want to touch that really with a 40-foot barge pole.
Do you think, so you think it'll be slightly more negative? I feel like that's the thing when aero bikes come out. Most of the media are a bit, they don't really like it. Or do you think it's starting to turn?
I think it's turned.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the conversation is far more mature than it was 3 or 4 years ago. But weirdly, I think it's more mature. The conversation is more mature with people riding in bunch rides and at the coffee shop than it is actually in cycling media. I still feel cycling media is stuck in this loop of not being sure how to discuss aerodynamics and performance gain because they're scared of this unrelatability elitist thing. Whereas if you're on bunch rides, it's just a topic of conversation. People will happily talk about it.
Just one other thing. I don't always double down on stuff. Like, this bike comes with wheels that have carbon spokes. And like, I know I was banging on about Cervelo for their reserves being too heavy and not having carbon spokes. And so, just for the record, I actually walked that back. My problem with the reserves is that they're too heavy, but you can get a lighter wheel set with steel spokes. Doesn't need to be carbon. Just you know, if we're just airing that, definitely part of the, like, you know, I'm annoyed at myself because I was annoyed at reserve for having heavy wheels, and I put that through the lens of it doesn't have carbon spokes. But now I'm like, no, that's not what I meant. I want lighter wheels. I don't really care what the spoke material is. If you can make them lighter with steel spokes, I'd probably recommend them. So yeah, that's been interesting. That's a change. I take it back. I walk it back. Chris was right. Sort of.
Yeah. Do you think it matters at all that this won't be ridden in the World Tour next year?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Matter for probably. Sorry, it might matter in terms of their sales.
Yes.
I couldn't care less. If it's really quick, great. I don't care if some team rides it or not. Like the Strom.
Yeah.
You know? They've been a bit quiet on that. I don't know what's happened there, but like, you know, if that's a really quick...
We got things happening in the background.
If that's a really quick bike, I'll chat about it. I don't care if it's ridden in the World Tour.
Yeah. I do think, though, from a sales perspective, it's going to hurt them just because to get so many people over the line, you look at the Y1 RS, like that's not a realistic bike for most people to buy. But the frothy nature of Tade's taken that into the Dubai, Abu Dhabi crowd, and everyone's got to have one on your bunch ride. How does this, beyond just the pure frothers getting around it,
but they'll get back into the World Tour. They just got to figure, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you always have a bit of a leeway. It's still got the froth. It's still got the premium. It's still got that. So that'll still run them for, 1, 2, 3 years.
Who would you like to see on a Factor 2026?
Can we rename Little Trek to Little Factor?
I was thinking the same.
That lead out train on this, as opposed to the dog of a Madonda.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. No, who's coming around them?
How good would that be?
Milan, like you've got Milan and
Pedersen,
and there's that Italian guy. I can't even name him. Oh, Simone Consoni. He's the lead. He's the main lead out guy. I'd be surprised if they ride this at like Paris-Roubaix. Well, they could. Well, it doesn't have the tire clearance for it. Yeah, they'll probably stick because they were riding their gravel bike at Paris-Roubaix a few years ago. This is not. I don't see this as a classics bike. Well, we won't even find out, will we?
We won't know. That was sort of my point.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Is to see, because I think one of the things that's happened to the S5 this year is it's just killed the R5, and I wonder whether this would have the potential of killing the Ostro.
No. No. So that's my other takeaway is like, if you just want the latest, greatest, and you like the look of it, go for it. But it's a tough sell over the Ostro. I think for vast majority of people, even quite a few of the pros, the Ostro is going to be a better bike. Yeah.
Unless it's 30 watts faster at 50 k's an hour. Yeah.
All right. So we do have some other gear equipment chat. Just a bit of we can keep this sort of moving, but Pirelli released a new tire a week ago. It's the P0 Race TLR RS, made in Italy, in a 35
Now
mil.
we're talking. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, not getting that in your Factor 1.
No. Well, you'd be hard. What would you get that in? So out-and-out race tire. This is what they're saying. There's 4 points. Smoother comfort with superior vibration dampening. Enhanced traction from a wider, more stable footprint. Lower pressures, fewer flats, and more speed over rough surfaces. Less weight than reinforced tires for sharper handling and faster acceleration. So that's like it's taking the out-and-out race tire platform and just making it 35 mil.
Yep. As opposed to what they did previously, they had that 40 mil that line. That was their sort of endurance. That was still their endurance line as such. So, but this is the race line moving into 35. To answer your question, you get them on a Madone. You get this on a Madone.
35 on a wide rim. That'll be measuring 30, probably
100%.
38.
You get that on the new Madone.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I had
Okay.
guys riding Madones at friggin' Dirty Warney last year.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to try these.
This fascinates me because this is
yeah.
where, you know,
Because my rear tire almost measures 35 already. So, and that's quick. I mean, it's kind of heavy, but rides well.
This is kind of what I want to see, though. I want to see the race line, the performance line move into the wider tires, and see if it's there, because it wasn't there with that Pirelli 40 that I tried. It was sluggish, really was.
This could be the new setup, right? So you get a Trek Madone that fits it. You run a 32 front on like a 26 internal, 35 external. And then you put your 35 Pirelli on the rear. This could be cooking here. Yeah, wouldn't want to ride up the Madone on it,
No.
or the Stelvio, but take it to Heffron.
Come down it, yeah.
Do the chop on it. I would genuinely buy this and test it. I just don't have a bike that fits it. So, yeah, that's
like what
kind of annoying.
the Continental lady was saying, Hannah. She was like, well, we would potentially look at making those tires, but there's no bikes that fit it.
Yeah.
So why would we bother? We've got to sell these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a nod to potentially what's coming, hopefully. All right, we've got a little bit of kit chat.
Yep.
It's that time of year. Things are starting to bob out. First up, it's white bibs for the boys.
Yeah.
Seemingly. Well,
INEOS
have incorporated a bit of a cream bib. Now, look, obviously I run them. And you can't do a lap of Centennial Park without 7 COVID babies who have bought their first. I would argue there are people who have only ever ridden light coloured bib shorts in their entire life.
Yeah.
So the fact that we're bringing this up as a ooh is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
It is done.
Yeah.
It is completely done. And I'm sorry, but anyone who's doing the whole, oh my God, like you've lost touch.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Because this is a touch. Now, these don't look like the pure white. They don't look like a pearl white. Would you say it's a little bit of a cream, a bit of a beige?
There's some good pixelation going on here. This is definitely spy photo territory. Maybe a slight off, because it definitely looks less white than the middle part of the upper part of the jersey does, which is like a bright white. Maybe a natural white. Like you paint your walls in your house, and a ceiling white on the jersey. I rate it. But
and the other thing, it looks like the Dogma's changed decal. We've got a nice pure white going. I mean, I'm on record. Pinarello with their pure white, it's just sex. It's beautiful. So anytime they are happy to go and do that, I'm on board. And it does look from a distance that they're scopes.
Scopes.
That looks like a scope for the boys.
That
looks like the 40 mil.
Done with Dura Ace wheels. Oh, fuck. About time. So we've the gaslighting's over. They've finally gone, okay, look, Tade's riding at 9 watts per kilo. We need some gains here.
Yeah.
I got a bit of goss on this one. So they did what UAE did a couple years ago, which was go and buy a whole bunch of wheel sets, and we just test them independently. Take them to the wind tunnel, do the rolling resistance thing, ride around on the track on them, and get a short list of the good ones. And that's what we're going with.
Okay.
So this isn't like scope of gotten the checkbook out and gone, oh, we want you to ride these. We're going to pay you $1 million. This is an INEOS-led pursuit. And so obviously the scopes have tested well, and that's what they're running next year.
This is back to the good old days of INEOS, of just whatever's the best, we will have.
Yep.
I rate it. Absolutely rate it. These wheels, so I am giving the 6As back. Sorry, no more scopes for the boys. But I've requested to try and test these ones. So these are the 40s, which are meant to actually they are meant to test like only 2 or 3 watts slower than the 65s.
Okay.
So we'll see. But yeah. Any other inside gossip about that testing protocol, or you want to share?
It's just quite like, so it depends. It depends what the thing is. Like I would be confident in saying for Scope, they provide the products free of charge, but they're not. They wouldn't be paying. Like Morton would highly likely be paying. I'm assuming they're Morton. I can't remember as SS. Like a nutrition partner would very likely be paying to be affiliated with the team because their product's not worth that much. For wheels, at least in this situation, Scope would be providing them free of charge, but wouldn't be paying for that sponsorship.
Right. Okay.
But, newsflash, teams use a lot of wheels. It's still a good amount of money. Like, you're talking probably 300 sets of wheels, and 300 sets of scopes, even whatever their like cost price is still, a few $100,000.
Yes.
Few $100,000 which they're putting in. So it's still an investment for Scope.
And Scope they're not Shimano.
No.
No, that'd be a big chunk of their budget this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I like that INEOS tested the wheels. They've gone with the ones that they think were some of the fastest, and that's your setup. And look, that's an advantage over Info Picnic, DSM, whatever the hell that team's called, who are on Lapierre's with Miche wheels or whatever, and then now you got a Dogma with scopes.
Yeah.
Like with probably a 30 mil rear tire and fast. Sorry, it's FDJ are on those Miche wheels. The Lapierre is on the still on Durace.
Yes.
Yeah, the full Spono spec.
Spono spec, yep.
Oh, can I just a little Cycling News did some teaser reels. They're back in the wind tunnel. I'm nervous.
Oh.
I saw like a proper video of this Willier.
Oh, you think it could be fast?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'm a little nervous. I went out and I said, oh, look, it'll probably be sort of there or thereabouts.
Back yourself.
I had there's some good tweaks. Yeah, I am slightly sweaty when they release those results.
No one remembers anything we say here. Don't worry about that. Okay, just quickly. So we pretty much said this last week, and then 3 hours after the show went live, it was announced officially that Factor have stepped away from Israel Premier Tech, whatever they are now, NSN, and Scott Bikes have stepped in. So what are your thoughts? Is this a step up for them? So we've gone, it's the spec now will be Scott foils for the boys or Addicts.
Yep.
It looks like SRAM.
Okay.
It looks like SRAM with zip wheels.
Okay.
But happy to be corrected in the comments. I just haven't seen anything specific about the accessories. Obviously, it's definitely Scott Bikes. But the imagery that was coming out initially was SRAM and zip wheels.
Okay. Yeah. I can see. I'm here looking at it. I've got a Scott foil. I've got these look like the 353s.
353s. Yeah. We've got
you got tire. You're seeing tire pressures.
We've got a new kit as well. I think like for like, I'm pretty happy. No issues.
Factor Ostro with a set of black inks compared to a Scott foil with a set of zips. Yeah.
Even playing field.
Yep. Fair play.
Yep. New kit. Did you see their kit, by the way?
There's like two versions. There was a blue one that got released, and then I saw a full. That one with the orange. Yeah.
It's that one.
Okay. Chris, you're our in-house. I'm
in-house.
I'm like colorblind.
That'll be fine. Baby blue's always a bit of a challenge, but I think orange is a bit of an in color at the moment, so I think we'll allow it.
Okay.
But yeah, Equoy helmets. It's a tight package. And tightness there. Quite happy with it. All right, Dog Off Fast Bike, Jesse Coyle. We have half a dozen. Here we go. Canyon, Aero, CFR, size, medium, Fast Sports Evo 6 2026 model with 20mm GP5000 STRs measuring 32. Standard Ultegra brake rotors, because they look better. Buckloss 3D printed carbon saddle, Ultegra crankset 170mm. Riot OSPWs, Silka hot waxed chain, Ultegra front and rear, Dura Ace shifters, Zeffel carbon bottle cages, Favero Asioma Duo She pedals, full build weight with pedals, Garmin mount bottle cages 7.45. Geez, that's good with Ultegra. 24-year-old Dane living and working in Lanzarote as a bike guide for a sports resort. Well, we're more than welcome to come over and help you. Build the bike for racing in Denmark as I will return in the spring. 75 kilos, FTP of 355. Let me know, have I overcooked it? Have I made a dog of a normally fast bike? The answer is no, you haven't.
No,
you've nailed it.
Great bike.
You've absolutely nailed it.
Yeah. You bought an Aero.
Yeah.
Little tweak here and there with the saddle and the chain rings and stuff, and then you put better wheels on.
Yeah.
Job done.
Job done. Yeah, if you've put in a winter of training in Lanzarote and you come back to Denmark with this, it's done.
I think NERO show needs an away episode at Club La Santa. The triathletes all go there and do their vlogs. Lucy Charles all hanging around at the pool.
Yep.
I reckon
we could settle in.
Yep.
Yeah, have a word to the boys there at Club La Santa.
Happy to go over.
We'll slot in.
I only fly first class though.
Well,
or private.
It's a given. Private. We'll buy the carbon offsets.
Yeah.
Fast bike. Bike 2. Mr. Chris Miller, here is one for you. Too many dogs lately in your selection, so you need this.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's see what you've got. 2024 BMC Team Machine R01, size 56, freshly assembled yesterday. That is why I have no bar tape on it. Jesus, that's what you do. Before you even ridden the bike, you send it into the boys. I like that. That's a tick.
Priority.
That's a tick. SRAM Red 5037 cassette, 1036 on these wheels. Also have a 1033 for a swap. 170mm crank, SRAM power meter. Wheels are the Newman 4554 front rear, 24 internal, 33.3 external. Good coil ratio, I think. 1,300 grams.
Yep.
Conti GP 5000s. Sella Italia MVDP white saddle. I am 185, 90 kegs, 48 years young. Current winter is 317 FTP. During summer Fondo season, bumps up to 330 due to the drop in weight. Bike weight 7 kilos as pictured. Keep up the good work, boys. Can't wait for the Aero tunnel. Regard from Croatia.
In the cycling news test, those Newman wheels were the most saving compared to the MV 4.5s.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, well, what's your tyre clearance here? Let's just go back over this. So we're running the Newmans.
Measuring 32.
It's measuring 32.
See the picture of the front and rear. Is there a picture?
Yeah, there is a picture.
What are we looking at on the rear?
There's clearance.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. So 32 measured?
Yeah. Well, that was my concern coming in.
What about my 34 and a half?
No.
No. Okay.
Is this the top spec one?
Yeah.
Team Machine R?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a $20,000 bike?
Galfa rotors. How did they not get a mention?
Where were the Galfas?
There's Galfas on
there are Galfas on there.
Galfa rotors,
Porries,
everybody.
Galfas.
Sorry about that.
I mean, it's hard to pick holes in this. I remember why I put these two in, because I kind of thought these first two were an interesting comparison against each other. You know, both top-end kind of race bikes, but this one's probably $10,000 more.
Well, that's yeah. It's you're paying a lot for that BMC logo compared to the Canyon. How much faster would a Factor 1 be? Just to hit home on my point, you're going, okay, these are two, aero bikes, fast. How much could you save on a spaceship? Don't know. Is that a fast bike?
Well, the white saddle's just disastrous. Just I just need to get that off my chest, because you've tried to match the pearl white on the top of the stem with the top tube with your saddle, and it's not.
This frame has avoided any independent testing.
It has.
No tour mag.
No.
As last time I checked, no cycling news. Are they hiding something? I reckon I'm going. Can I? You've got a really expensive bike that has no independent testing.
Shh.
Chris?
This bike's not aging well.
Yeah, okay.
It's not aging well.
Yeah?
I know where you're headed.
Mm.
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
If we get to early next year and we still haven't seen anything independently tested on this bike, I'm
Can't fit a
happy to
32.
join you.
Also, tyre clearance.
Tyre clearance becomes an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But for personally, late 2025, this build, fast bike.
I'll agree with that.
Cautiously,
Yeah.
fast bike.
Fair enough.
Bike 3, put a muzzle on this doggo. Another day, another alloy.
Oh, they've come out of
Fast,
the woodwork.
uncomfortable, sustainable alloy dog. Fun bike though. LA Sprint Comp 2024. Cockpits and S-Works Aerofly Bar 2 with SL7 stem and 3D printed headset adapter from Racewear Direct.
Mm.
Group set Ultegra 11-speed DO2 with Quark power meter and crank Praxis Aero chainrings. Wheels are the Fast Sports Evo C50s. Pirelli 30 mils. He's running sealants is his stands. He's got his Pro Stealth carbon rail saddle and Arundel carbon cages. 37 years old, 2 kids and a dog. Washed up A-grader, washed up ex A-grade Melbourne crit racer. Coached by Jesse for a short period.
Until I saw he had an ally. Gone off the roster.
Bike history, I like this. CAD 10.
Mm.
Oh, okay. There's an ongoing issue. CAD 10, CAD 12, LA Sprint rim brake, Scott Addict RC 2021, and then an LA Sprint. Okay, well, this is why he racked it.
That's the problem.
Yeah, that's why he racked it.
And then went back. So then has gone from a Scott Addict RC to the LA Sprint. Back.
What are you doing?
Yeah, see, no.
You're too young for this. You're only 37. Like, no. No.
What size is no, there's just no excuse for that frame.
No. I mean, clearly he's got an ongoing issue with aluminium bikes. But that's, that's an easy fix.
I'm curious, like, was there a negative experience on the Scott Addict from 2021 that pulled him back to alloy?
Well, he did mention that he's crashed a number of times in the last 24 months. But that's also sort of a bit of a misnomer as well, because the whole, alloy bike, easier to fix. That's not necessarily true. Carbon's kind of pretty easy to fix as well. So, yeah, what was the bad carbon experience? No. Get him on a polygon.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
That's a dog, as you knew. Bike 4, Hello NERO Show, long-time listeners. Here we go. Argon 18 Sum Pro, size large. Velocite Hyperdrive Elite 50mm wheel set. Vittoria Corsa Pro 30mm tubeless. Dura Ace with 5440 1132. 172.5 cranks. Detta Super Zero 38mm bars. 120mm stem. Sella San Marco 3D printed saddle. Vivero Asioma Pro RS2 pedals. Weight without pedals, 7.4 kilos. Current setup to race, tour of Bright this weekend. I'm 19, 188 centimetres. This bike looks familiar, but I'm not going to say anything more than that. That literally just dawned on me.
There's a name on the head tube.
Oh, I mean, but I don't think he owned that originally. Because that's clearly a Novo Nordisk.
Oh.
That's the team colour.
Oh.
Pretty sure I've seen that before. But anyway, there it is.
He rides on that team.
Oh, he does?
Yep.
Okay.
Official team bike, everybody.
Official team bike. How did he go on the weekend?
Can you run the sugar water on Novo Nordisk team? What's the team rules there? I don't know.
We got any results from the weekend?
No.
No?
Can't be bothered looking
Can't
them
be
up.
bothered looking them up?
We don't need to.
No.
We can tell by the bike.
We can tell straight away. Yeah. Okay.
This bike would be very comfortable.
Yes.
This bike would be quite light. Do we have a weight there?
Yeah, 7.4 without pedals.
Okay. That's not that light.
No. This bloke's too fit for this bike. That's sort of my take on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this clearly bit of a weapon. But if you're having to roll turns with Plappy in the brake here, it's not helping you at all.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you're going to be going 26, 27 kilometres an hour up to Wonga Gap anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, we don't, the do it all sort of out the window at that point.
Yeah. You're in the brake, some guy on Brennan on an S5 with a 80mm wheels. And,
Where's the nitrogen? Surely the team can get in the nitrogen. The Pro. Where's yours? Is yours on the way? I thought you were testing one.
I'm on the
You're on the wait list? Still on the wait list?
Stuck in the queue. Stuck in the middle of the
funny that.
Suez Canal.
Yes. Well, that's a dog, sadly. I mean,
if you were doing Peaks Challenge, I'd have a different conversation. You're doing Tura Bright against Oscar Onley. Yeah. No, you're not getting up the road on this thing. Not happening. Dog.
To be fair, though, Oscar's having to ride around on that bloody dog as well. So,
that you know, Charlie Carbs and Cycling YouTube guy did a power analysis of
Tura Bright.
Of Tura Bright, yeah.
Oh wow!
Looking at the T, he's like, oh, geez, he did good TT power. Geez, his speed was a bit slow. He must have been. I'm like, yeah, because he's on a fucking lappy air.
He's on the road bike, though.
Yeah, he was on the road bike, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he did like 380 watts going 44k an hour. Like, come on.
Shout to Shannon Scott. Won the Masters, certified weapon.
What's
Good
he
on? Shannon's riding a Dogma, I believe.
Oh, okay.
He was on a Scott Foil, and his way to a Dogma.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a dog. Oh, here we go. Bike 5 is a Carpenter. Is it?
Yeah.
Carpenter.
Yep.
Oh, it's the Carpenter FM1136. That rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Medium. Di2, Fast Sports F1S bars, Fast Sports Evo S5, S6 wheel set, Schwabel Pro 1 28 centimetres, the Zik and Tyres R1 saddle, look here, carbon blade pedals, Silka seat pack, black burn camber bottle cages, 7.8 as pictured. What do we know about the Carbonara?
I'm reading. It was the Carbonara was an update from the FM 1056. However, some new points are it's lighter, so it's T800 and T1000 fibers.
Beautiful.
I'm on Chinatown forum. There's a whole thread on it. Design is more aerodynamic.
Well, you can see that.
No more press fit bottom bracket. It's just a threaded bottom bracket. Still space for 32mm tyres. The shape of it looks
I've got some
endurance bike E. You know, I haven't done a full spec on the geometry, but definitely looks like that tall head tube sort of short reach thing.
Looks kind of melee-ish.
Yeah.
Is that a round seat post as well?
It is. Looks like it. Potentially D-shaped, but looks either D-shaped or round. Okay. Like Giant Defy. I mean, it's not going to be light as a Giant Defy, but that spec. Traway Pro 1s are a mistake.
You don't see a Physique Antares R1 saddle very often. You don't see a nose of a saddle much in 2025. It's just it's great to see one. Great to see a little prostate cancer just sticking out there on the end. Beautiful. There's not many circumstances where this is a fast bike.
It costs $690 and the handlebars $155. So you're sub $900.
Which is wild.
Okay, what if this is you have just like an urban bike or a commuter and you're going, okay, or a mountain bike or something. I want to get into road riding. You've watched the NERO show, so you know wheels and rim width is important. So you go your Fast Sports carbon spokes, get the weight down. You're not doing crits or like banging on the flats. FTP is sort of like 220. You live in a hilly area and you go, okay, I want this sort of endurance spec. I want carbon. I'm not going alloy. I don't believe in alloy. And this is your first road bike. You got integrated bars. Okay, and I'm doing Barrel Classic in 6 months. And I'll average 26k an hour.
You could do a lot worse.
That's what I think. Like, There's nothing off-putting about this. Nice Ultegra Di2.
No, it's a fast bike.
I think it's.
I mean,
that feels weird to say.
It does feel
but,
weird to say.
Yeah.
But it's a $600 frame.
Yeah. As long as you don't train too much and get too fit, that's a fast bike.
Like this is not a fast bike for the previous person.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Yep.
But given the right circumstances here.
If my dad was he's on a Merida rim brake or Ultegra mechanical. If I gave this to him and said, this is your bike for the next 5 years, that's an upgrade in basically every way. Fast bike.
Fast bike. Bike 6, the final one. Waiting for a verdict before putting the sticker on. This is my 54 centimetre Envy Miele. Well, fitted with 36 centimetre coefficient or handlebars for the ergonomic, 100mm Envy Aero stem, SRAM red, 165mm tri-brake crank, 1036 cassette, Look Keo blade pedals, 60mm Campy Bora Ultra wheel sets, modest 23 internals, fitted with archetype tyres. After a nightmare day out with 3 rear punctures. And finally, generic AliExpress titanium bottle cages to match. Leaning towards the bike being a bit of a dog, however, with me on it tucked nicely, it would be less of a dog compared to other frames that I need 40 mils of spaces to achieve the same fit. Regards, Frank from Orange County, California. All right. Well, the Bartow doesn't match, so let me just get that off the chest quickly. Bora's on a Miele. Isn't the whole selling point of the Miele the fact we can run some nice big wide boys and you're going to get the benefit of a nice wide rim internal? The Bora doesn't really do that.
23.
23,
oh,
okay.
I mean, it's not
Okay.
It's not DT Swiss spec. The Miele's this is a very tough sell because most do-it-all aero bikes these days can fit a 32mm rear on a wide rim measuring 34.5. You got to remember the Miele came out 3, maybe 4 years ago, and at that time, if you run a 32 on a wide rim, that was like groundbreaking, and not many bikes could fit it. And so you had that. You had moved more towards fast bike spectrum for that alone. Now you can fit a 34, 35 measured on, probably on an SL8. You can fit it on a Tavello, which is just a faster aerodynamic frame. Now this would have more comfort in the frame, but if we're all rolling around on 34mm measured tires,
he's really trying to sell the posse though here, because he's saying, look, he's still having to run 20 mils of spaces on a Miele. So if you go and put him on an Aeroed, there's probably 40 mils of spaces.
That's a problem.
Minimum under there. And so I do think that's a nod.
Is that more of an aesthetic problem though? I think the jury's out on, is that actually a problem? Having
ridden the 40 mil spacer, it is a slight performance disadvantage. Certainly, you do lose a little bit of tracking the front end. Like that word?
Yeah,
you'll be hearing that word tracking in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
watch that space. Yeah. So the Miele, hey. Hilly part of the world, isn't it? I thought you had your canyons around Orange County. You know, you can get up and down those. My problem with this, I mean, the use case for the Miele is probably exactly what Frank's telling me here. He needs to fit. He didn't mention multi-surfaced riding, but let's throw him a little bit of that bone as well.
Okay.
So this is, to me, this is the use case for it. You know, not Edwin. But I still can't get there.
Yeah.
I still can't get there.
Uh-huh.
No. It's a dog.
Yep. We're almost in 2026.
Mm.
No.
Get a
Will they
cut.
update the Melee next year? You know?
I hope not. Just, they need a new product.
Oh, you just
Ditch it.
update the
Well,
Mog?
leave it.
What about the Mog?
Ugh, love a Mog.
Mog.
Nice brown one. No, that's a dog.
Yep.
All right, Jesse, thank you for your time.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We will see everybody next week.
Chat with you then.